Good morning, everyone. My name is Oluwaseun. It's a great privilege to be here with you today, and I'm very glad that we have this opportunity. I appreciate Frankie for inviting me. Thank you very much. Um, I'm excited that we have something like this to do. When I was a bit younger, there was nothing like a career fair or anything to give us information like this. Yeah, so before I move into my topic, my name is Seun Opafola and I work as a community manager at Regis. I've never heard of Regis before I started the job. I never knew there was something like this. I never knew there was a career path like this before I got this job. And the journey has not been very smooth. I started as an associate. That's like a junior position to where I am now. I'm not still in the big position to say, but it's a learning process. And in the future years, I plan to digress into something different, a bit different. I'm coming from a different background. I read geography and planning in school, and what I'm doing is quite different. So I'm a supporter of, I know a lot of people spoke about not closing your mind, not shutting your mind, make use of opportunities that you have, which is very true. So there's no, I read something in school, I'm limited to do this kind of job. As long as you have an open mind, you are going to go really far. Yes, so my topic today is workplace for career development. Yes. I want us to carry away from our mind. Career does not mean office work 9 to 5. Let's not reduce career to that line. Career means what you intend to do. It's just like a line, a continuous job, that different jobs that you take that's going to get you to your goal. So it's like you're taking steps and steps and steps, different job description, and you are meaning to eat somewhere. Yes, so we're going to talk about different work ethics for career development. And as you're aware, a work ethic is some set of rules and regulation or moral principles. Let me put it as moral principles and values. Moral principles and values. So when people say what are the ethics, organizations have ethics. Some will say truth, some will say accountability, some will say honesty, some will say they believe in that their customers can be dependent on them. So it depends on different companies. The same way companies have ethics is the way you should also have work ethics for yourself. So work ethics is not just to benefit, is more like a determining factor for success. It's not just for the workplace, it's not just for the office. I don't believe it's just for the workplace. I think it should be part of your life, things that you do on the outside, for a voluntary work, for a tax you were given, for your own personal life. Yes. Then also I can say that ethics is a term that defines a person's dedication to work. So what's your dedication like to work? Are you the one that still asks to come do a particular exercise? You keep complaining, you're like, I don't like that job. A lot of us don't like our jobs. Yes, but we keep doing what we have to do. Whatever is you find doing, do it well, do it good, do it that when you leave, they'll be able to refer and say, oh, when that person was here, this job did not suffer. When that person was here, this job did not lack. Yes, so I'll just give us some few work ethics that I know that will be very beneficial for our lives. We're just starting our lives and we have a very long way to go. God has amazing plans for our life, but also we have to learn to fit into these plans that God has created for us. Else we might not be able to take into these positions or take these opportunities that God has given unto us. So the first ethic I'll talk about is productivity. Yes, so productivity. You should be in a place, I mentioned earlier that you should be in a place and you should be able to show, okay, this is the extent of my work. This is what I've done. This is what I've achieved. You can't be given the same task with other people and you are covering up with other people's part of the work. You yourself need to be productive. People need to know wherever you are, whatever you do. Fine, a lot of people, it's just like in school. Let me give an example. A lot of people say, oh, because that baby is sleeping with a particular lecturer, that's why she's getting good scores. Excuse me, there are other people that are working for their grades and they are making good scores. So you have to be productive in whatever you do. Another good work ethic I would like to mention is emotional intelligence. If you are in a workplace, you are trying to build your career, you need to know when to react, how to react, and to what extent you should react. Not everything that should get a reaction from you. You need to be able to manage people, you need to be able to manage resources, you need to be able to react appropriately to the situations. That sometimes when you should be angry, but because of where you are just going to be like, okay, for now I won't address this, I'll be a little bit calmer and I'll go back to address it. And you do it in a very professional way, because even there are some times that you might not be at fault, but because of the way you handled that situations, all the blame might go back to you. Another thing is integrity. Yes, integrity and character. Very important. I've had people that I work with, and like where I work, and maybe someone comes to tell me, a client thinks so person stole something from me. There's some people I can say, I know, I'm very sure that this person will not have taken things from, and eventually it turns out that way, that the person finds it. And there's some people that when they come, I'm like, okay, let me ask, I'll get back to you, or I'll get back to you, I'll get back to you, sir. And eventually when you ask them, they are not so far from it. So let's whatever you do, let people know, okay, this is what you do. Let's in a way just be predictable, that people know that, okay, I know this person will not lie. I know when I put this person on this team, this person will be very accountable. I know when I put this person on this team, I know that I have nothing to fear. I can sleep. Let people be able to know that, oh, okay, this person has a very high integrity and is of good character. Another thing is clear goals and objectives. In a particular work, no matter how terrible you hate the work, or how you think the work is not for you, or even how much you love that work, you should have clear goals and objectives. Okay, I want to do this to achieve this, to be able to get to this stage. You can't just be living your life as it comes. There's not going to be growth. You have to be intentional about wanting the growth. So you have to have clear goals and objectives. Oh, at this point of my life, I want to be here. So for me to be here, this is what I need to do. Like, I added clear goals, not daydreaming, not inspiring. You have to be able to have set plans to work for these things. Another thing is the roles of mentors and coach. Mentors and coaches. You might think, oh, what do we need mentors for? A lot of people have gotten to the positions that you want to be. Sometimes you can have mentors that are close, like where you work, and you can also have mentors far away. Another thing for mentorship that me have learned is for protection at the workplace. You might wonder, well, what do you mean by protection? If you have a mentor that is in a higher position, when some things come to you, they can act as shade, they can cover you, they can help you have a mentor that is in a managerial position that can help you. Fine, people might say office politics and things like that, but you're in the office place, everywhere there's politics. You have to learn to fit into spaces and fit into things that can be beneficial to you. I've seen a lot of people at work, they work way hard, they work really hard, but there's really nothing to show for it, because they are not strategically working hard. They're just working hard, but they're not working smart. That's another point I'll get to later. Another thing is responsibility. There's a very thin line between this, but for me, responsibility is even doing beyond what you have been employed to. It's thinking out of the box. It's thinking, oh, okay, I've been called to count just A to B. I've been called to count just A to Z. So what more can I do that will be of beneficial, that will benefit the company? So you can be like, okay, I think I should start forming 2-letter words. I should form 3-letter words. That way, you are thinking beyond what's your scope of work. Yeah, it has great benefit. At the same time, if not well managed, people might just keep giving you more work than you have been employed for. So there's a balance between this, but you should learn to be responsible for your job, most importantly, before you even start taking other people's responsibilities. Yes. Then another thing is good leadership skill. Leadership skill, you don't have to start exhibiting or building your leadership skill when you get to that leadership position. Leadership skill is even what will get you there, because naturally people will see, oh, I think if I put this person in this position, this person can manage. Even within her teammates, she's able to coordinate. Even within her teammates, she's able to pull things. So people say that when they're like, okay, you have good leadership skill. When you have good leadership skill, when promotions or opportunity comes, they are not skeptical about putting you in that position. They're not scared that, oh, I know this person knows the job, but the person is a bit timid. I know this person knows the job, but this person cannot address clients, or we can't take this person to go present for us for a proposal. That's another point. Then, like I said, they're like, you have to be dependable, you have to be reliable. You should be able to say, okay, they gave you a work and we have a proposal to them. I'm able to give you a work and you're able to perform. I don't have to go back to start proofreading. I don't have to go back to start editing. I know your work is good enough. You are dependable and you're reliable. And people like that, bosses like to work really close with them. People like to draw them together, because they know that they are very useful to the team. Another core work ethic one should have is to be a team player. Very important. You don't isolate yourself at work. I'm not saying you should be friends with all your colleagues. That's not possible. But you should be a great team player. You should know how to help, what to help. Sometimes you might even have to up your colleague beyond the work. I'm not saying you should interfere in other people's business, no, but there should be a level of empathy, a level of sympathy, a level of love, concern, and care you should show to other people. Another good work ethic I'll mention is discipline. It's very hard to be disciplined in a place where people are indisciplined, trust me. Because, for example, you work in the kind of place or you work with people that during the office time they watch movies, they really don't care about the work, and you're trying to be different. They might take you as an enemy. So, but discipline sometimes, when people start to know, they understand the kind of person that you are, and it's not you are not using it to make mockery of them, or you're not trying to prove that you're better, or you're not trying to actually say, oh, I don't do things with people. The fact that you make people feel, okay, let me put the word as respect. You are in your space and you respect others. People will also respect you. It works that way. So in a place where there's a lot of indiscipline, we should also be disciplined. We should learn to stand out. You should not now get there and now buy cultures that don't work out. And if you think you're in a place where the culture cannot just work for you, I think you should leave. That's just the truth. I think you should leave. I work in a place where me myself, I knew I was not growing. Me myself, I knew that what I was doing here, I get to work and there's really no much to do, nothing challenging. I just knew it was time. I moved to a job that was never even so different, but I was just happy to be out of that environment, and from there I was able to progress. So that's another point. Also, another good work ethic is self-motivation. You have to learn to motivate yourself. You should not wait for, I know not all bosses are sweethearts. Don't expect that. But you should learn to manage your boss. I've had some bosses that are really tough, but by the grace of God, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, as long as you know the kind of person social person is, okay, I have a boss that I know that she doesn't like you leaving important information. She's very detailed. Before I do something, so I can check it like 4 times. I'll give somebody else, please let me check this thing, we'll check it. So by the time I make mistakes, she herself, I might still make mistakes, but she will see that I kept a lot of effort into doing that work. And eventually she can just say, you did very well, but this part is not good. Fine, even that part she's saying she's not good, I'll be looking at her that, Mama, what have I not done for you today? But one thing for me that I was able to learn with it, I learned a lot. It was taxing, she was a very taxing boss. I learned a lot. And also, one thing that I kept doing for myself, that I kept motivating myself. I did not wait for someone to commend me that, you did a great work. When I get home, I'm like, you see the work I did today. Even me, I didn't know. I replied one very tough mail. I motivate myself in a way. I don't need somebody externally. The day she told me, Shuri, you write well, I was amazed. Wow, so you thought about me for 2 years. I've never told me one day before. But at least I was motivating myself before I got the motivation. Yes, then another thing, like I mentioned earlier, small things like adaptability. We have to learn to adapt to spaces. Sometimes it might be different from where we are coming. A lot of us are always scared of new things. I'm always scared of new environments. I'm scared of new people, meeting new people. But the thing is that it's just a fear. When you get there, you will cope. That's what I've learned. It's just a fear. When you get, it might even be better than where you're coming from. And God has always made it. It's always better than when I'm coming from. So we have to have this adaptability to be able to adapt to places and things. We talked about different work ethics, and I know some of us already identify some of the ones that we have. We have identified some of the ones that we have to work better with. Yes. Some of the things that would help us in improving our work ethics is to recognize that you're a key player wherever you are. Don't say, but my job is just the least, I'm just the secretary, or my own is not that serious. People are doing the bigger job. How much are they even paying me? If you have that kind of mindset, you are limiting yourself, because you are just thinking within your present position. You're not thinking about yourself as a global entity or a global person. You're just thinking about it that you have no important task or important act you can perform there. Never see yourself that way. Always see yourself as a key player. See yourself as, if I don't do this, every other thing will fail, and which is true. Imagine you work in an organization where all your cleaners, your janitors decide not to come to work that day. Do you know how the office will look like? So even if you think their roles are small and minor, but they have very key roles that they play in work organization. Also, another thing is that we should always work hard and put effort. Don't always have the mind of, I've done enough, I cannot come and kill myself. I'm not saying you should be a workaholic. No, there's a very thin line, but always put your best. Always strive for excellence. Always, whatever you do, let's just say that, oh, my things I'm standing out. I'm good. I don't. You can't see rubbish with me. Just always have that mindset. Then another thing is to manage your time and yourself while working. It doesn't mean you will kill yourself. Take time off, go on break, go on vacation, enjoy your money. You're working for your money, enjoy it. Enjoy your money, manage your time at work. It's very important that when you come in the morning, I've noticed that when I come, most times, especially when I get late to work, I don't really do much that day because the morning time, that is a good time, would have gone. Another thing I do is I stay late at work, but which is not really very good. I stay late at work because I live close, but someone that lives far away cannot be staying late at work. So that's another benefit from, but it's not always the best thing. You should learn to manage your time. I'm not of the opinion that working after 6 or working after your office hours does not show at hard work in any way. It shows that you don't know how to manage your time well and manage your space, because the organization that said 8 hours or 9 hours for work, they know that you can perform that work within that space. So don't hard work or working hard is not by leaving the office late, not at all. Then you should learn to respect others and respect yourself. Very important. You don't have to state all your own information, details to your colleague at work. You don't have to be an office gossip. You don't have to be concerned about what is happening every time. You don't have to always be the one to give information, pass information from this person to another. You should have respect. You should respect yourself. You respect yourself, others will respect you. Not every time you should be in so office or this or that or that. You should treat yourself how you want to be treated. And a very important fact, that my own personal secret, is you should not undermine the place of the Holy Spirit at work. Very important. I know I have a colleague now that she's a believer, but I know when I used to have a colleague that is a believer, she used to look at me like, what's wrong with this one? I might be looking for something, I want to do something, and she just said me, Holy Spirit help me, Holy Spirit help me. And I'm saying repeatedly, and it works. Like, I'm looking for something, it works. Holy Spirit help me. How am I going to do this? Holy Spirit, hey, what am I going to do? Like, that's the first, I think my mind has now been on auto-tune to that. And it really helps. And now that I have a colleague that works with me that is a believer, so sometimes it's just like, okay, what will Jesus do? Or Holy Spirit, how come help us? And he always come true. He always put through. He will put the spirit of excellence on your life, as long as you are working hard. Not that you are not working hard and expecting that you benefit things because you're a believer. God expects us that we shine our lights. So that means we have to shine our light. He has given us this light and it's for us to shine. You can't expect the light to be there and you don't want to do anything. You have to work. You have to show good work ethics. I pray that God will give us a deeper revelation and understanding to the earlier words we've said. Thank you very much for listening. I love you all. See you later. Bye.